Here we have a guitar which is very obviously based on a Gibson SG, but it is in fact a far cheaper guitar than any Gibson. It's a Stagg G490. Now you might have seen the Stagg logo on many different kinds of products, from bass drum pedals right the way through to electric guitars. They do seem to have their fingers in a lot of pies, but this guitar proves that they're doing at least the guitars very well. We'll start with the top, as we always do. The tuners are sealed mini tuners with the kind of tulip-shaped chromium knobs on there. 3-a-side, truss rod cover, all fairly standard. The neck is a mahogany neck, quite nice because it's glued in. At this price range you would normally expect to see a bolt-on neck, but this is glued in, which means there's a tongue of wood on the end of the neck assembly which slots into a socket and is glued. It helps sustain and transmission of tone. Fretboard is very much a Gibson look-alike. In fact, the neck itself in profile is very much like an original Gibson SG. The rosewood on the neck is a nice medium brown, nicely grained, and the fret markers are of course the big rectangles, which are a feature of this kind of guitar. The body is mahogany. Beautiful finish on this. It's a transparent cherry. Lets the grain shine through. 2 pickups, humbucking pickups. They're not specified as anything other than humbucking pickups, so I'm guessing they're stock pickups. They aren't, as you'll hear in a moment, quite good, but they're standard size. If you ever felt like swapping them out for replacement pickups, the job wouldn't be too difficult. Each pickup has a volume and a tone control, independent for each one, and there's a 3-way selector switch. Now you'd have spotted something by now which you don't normally see very often on an SG, and that is the Bigsby-style vibrato, or trem as it's called these days. This is old technology, so it kind of stops this guitar from being a heavy metal shredder guitar, and sort of plants it firmly into classic or heavy rock territory, largely because this kind of vibrato won't take the sort of abuse that you're used to with the Floyd Rose and locking nuts and locking bridges and all the rest of it. It's a very old design, and it requires a little bit of care and attention. Firstly, make sure the strings which go under this bar and are attached round the top of this bar, make sure they run in a straight line and they're properly stretched in. You might find you'll need to use slightly heavier gauge strings, because the Bigsby was designed with heavier gauge strings in mind, because lighter gauge strings just simply weren't available in those days. And it might require you to adapt your technique slightly, because if you do if you make a wide pitch change using this vibrato, it may not come back exactly into tune, and you may just have to nudge it backwards or forwards to get it back in. If you want to see somebody who knows how to do that kind of stuff really well, try listening to some Brian Setzer stuff, or even some videos of the man on YouTube. He is quite a genius with his Gretsch guitars, which are generally loaded with the Bigsby. Okay, so that covers it, apart from the strap buttons. Strap button is standard at the bottom, but the second one is connected at the heel. Now this gives the guitar a slightly different playing position on the strap. If you're used to having a strap button that connects on the horn, you might need to just spend a little time getting used to this. One thing you might find is that if you're not looking at the neck, you might be playing something a fret higher than you think you are until you get used to the way the thing hangs there. Okay, let's give it a bit of sound. I'll give you some a clean look at the pickups first. That's the bridge humbucker. That's the neck humbucker alone. Combined bridge, neck, combined. One thing about the guitar as it's set up from the factory is that the bridge pickup is up closer to the strings than the neck pickup. It's probably because we're expected to be playing brash rock music with this guitar, and you're generally going to stay in the ballpark with the bridge pickup. So let's try taking it into the territory that it likes on the bridge pickup only. So, classic rock tones, beautiful to play. Be aware of the Bigsby. It looks great, but you do have to give it some attention and use it properly. It's best used for very slight trilling. You won't lose tuning if you do that. If you go too far, you may well find that just nudging it back a little bit will bring it fully back into tune. Other than that, a completely beautiful guitar with a great voice at a super price. imuso.co.uk. Go and have a look. Buy one.